Coming up next on Being Well, my guests are from Senior Care, a service of Paris Community Hospital Family Medical Center. Now, there are many challenges associated with growing older that can result in things like depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We'll talk about some ways to cope and treatment options available next on Being Well. Ladies, thanks so much for coming to Charleston today to talk to us about senior care. Let's talk a little bit about the aging population here in East Central Illinois and how that sort of inspired senior care.
I think it was maybe 3, 4, or 5 years ago, they started a survey within the community with some of the community leaders. What Paris needs, what are we lacking here, what are our problems? And our elderly were identified as not having resources available to them as they go through the challenges of getting older. So that was kind of taken in seriously with a lot of thought, and they came up with this concept of having an outpatient service, not daycare. We don't play puzzles and do things like that. I mean, it is actually therapy for folks getting older. And it's anywhere from 2 days a week to 3 days a week, and it takes the folks in to be with us where they can share their problems and their challenges with other people that understand them, being the other patients. So it's been going on, and then we started up, this is our 3rd year, has been wonderful. It's been highly accepted.
Yes, it has.
Well, let's talk about some of those life challenges that come up, because it's more than just getting older and aches and pains. There's a transition period that people go through probably once they retire. Can you talk about how that presents some challenges?
Well, I think we forget that when we retire, we think of, oh, it's going to be wonderful, and all these people get to go out and do everything they want to all the time, and it's a whole new life, and things go peachy keen, and it's a shock. It really is a shock. I mean, you've heard of a lot of people passing away not soon after they, soon after they retire, because you completely change the way people look at you. And in our culture, we don't necessarily respect or value being elderly. So all of a sudden, you're not listened to anymore. You're not looked at anymore in the same way. I had a lady the other day say, I find that when I talk to older people, when they come in, when I give them eye contact, they really perk up. You do, because all of a sudden you feel like, whoa, here I've been this person who's been looked up to, and all of a sudden, I used to be able to tell everybody what to do, and all of a sudden people are telling me what to do. I'm going to the doctor with my daughter, and all of a sudden the doctor's talking to her and not to me. And then you've got your mobility problems because you are starting to get older, and golly, you can't run like you used to, you can't walk like you used to. There's a lot of things going on. Can you add to that?
What would be some of the, because we're talking more about emotional issues like depression, anxiety, excessive worry, that sort of stuff. What are some of the symptoms of that? So if someone's watching and they're thinking, well, maybe what I'm feeling is not, it's beyond, normal worry or normal just feeling a little bit blue.
A lot of the elderly won't say that they say they're sad.
Yeah.
What we look for is sometimes the lack of motivation, fatigue, low energy. Irritability is a big one. They persistently worry about things, whether it's their health or even the state of the world. I hear lots of times about the economy. They are really worried about it. Anxiety, if they don't, they had outside activities and all of a sudden they've lost interest in them, they're not getting out, they don't want to leave their home, and it's, comes on quite suddenly. Yeah, it's a real concern for family members. It's just not being sad or crying, it's more than that. Sometimes we'll see, they pace, they'll wring their hands. Again, just that excessive worry.
Are there other medical conditions or medications that can make depression and anxiety even worse?
I would say primarily the ones that we see are folks that are diabetic You know, with depression or anxiety or tension or illness, their meds and their whole body reacts differently. Hypertension, heart problems. We've had some Parkinson's disease, Huntington's disease, arthritis, but all those medications act differently on each person. And in the elderly, when they're prescribed, the doctor has to look very closely at an elderly person metabolizes a lot of these medications differently than you or I would. So they work together. Like I said, sometimes you don't know, did the illness come first and then the medication, or is the medication, you know, what's causing the illness? So your doctors have to be on the same page. And they often have so many doctors watching them, you know, they need one primary doctor to overlook all the medications.
Because medications can interact in really bad ways. So you really need one doctor to be in charge of everything.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your program, because I think people would maybe make the assumption that this generation is not one to sit around in a circle and talk about their problems, but talk therapy is a big part of what you do. So how do you get this group to open up?
Well, when I started, I thought, boy, this is going to be fun. And we found that they're remarkably verbal. I mean, we can't get them to stop. And they're very intelligent. And all you have to do is just listen. And it's amazing what you will hear. Just amazing what you will hear. And they help each other. They're so giving. It's really neat the way they were taught. They were taught to think. And they do. I find it's fun. We had one patient who came in absolutely declaring that he would not talk in group. He would not do it. And I think our biggest problem with him was getting him to be quiet so other people could talk. And delightful, delightful. So it's not a problem. You'd think it would be, it's not.
Well, give us a sense of how the program works and what sort of things that you do with senior care.
I would say when they first come in, the first person they usually see is the receptionist as they're signing in, and then a nurse. We have a nurse there the whole time there's any patient in our office. There has to be a registered nurse. Usually do their vital signs. How are you doing? How are you sleeping? How are you eating? That's what nurses are concerned about. The big question is, when was your last bowel movement? This type of thing.
I've never had them in a place where they had that.
That has gotten to be where they just come in and they whisper to you what it is, because they know you're going to ask. And then they go get their coffee, their tea, whatever in the kitchen. We have a kitchenette, and they help themselves. You know, there's fresh fruit, cinnamon rolls, and they go wait in a group room until they're, depending on their numbers, whether they're divided up for one group room or two group rooms. So then these two ladies come in and they separate their groups and they start group therapy.
They've already, how are you? They've all checked on each other. They become very close. We've had patients that after they leave form something like a lunch bunch. And meet every week because they check on each other. They independently give each other their telephone numbers, so they check on each other. They become friends, and that's really good at this age because they're losing a lot of their friends.
Right.
And they're losing spouses, and so it's important to have a network of friends, and they're doing it. And then we go into group, and they call it class.
Yes, class.
They call it class because in there we give them information to help them help themselves. We work on a strengths perspective. We look at their strengths, not what they can't do, but what they can do, and they can do a lot. These people are incredible. I would recommend, if I was a college professor, to salt them in my class because they ask wonderful questions, they think all the time, and they have a neat perspective. Don't get them started on politics or something because you're going to have a real interesting time, but they're delightful, and they help each other.
And it's a real supportive environment, really. I feel it's safe for them, supportive. They learn how each of them cope, and they learn from each other, and they find out they have similar problems, and oh, how did you handle that? And it really works well.
A lot of the things that we do talk about are really life-changing things that they're going through. And they could be really depressing and bring up tears and stuff, but Connie and Lisa both have a way of using humor, and you can take some really devastating issues and make them a little bit light, and you're still getting to the issue, but they don't all come out crying and feeling badly. So it's been awesome for me to watch how the social workers work, because I've always been a psychiatric nurse, and they do so much that I've learned from them.
And like it's a luxury for us to have a nurse, to have medical personnel right there, because with this age, yes, we have a lot of problems, and we don't know. The first thing you want to check out with somebody, if you see somebody's acting withdrawn, that kind of thing, is you go to a medical doctor first.
Right.
You rule out medical. And that's one way we can also tell if they're getting better, because if they're sleeping better, if they're eating better, those types of things, that's part of the ways that we check to make sure our patients are getting better. We have goals. The patients and the therapist and the nurses sit down, and we have goals for what they want to do to get better. And
well, we stay in contact with their doctors. Right off the bat, we get a release that says that they're medically stable enough to be in this program. And then if the doctor wants a weekly update on their clients, that I get those off to them.
Well, we also check to make sure they're cognitively intact. These people do not have raging dementia or something like that. They don't. So you need to know that kind of thing, because a lot of people say my mother's got dementia or my father's got dementia, and what they have is depression. Many of the symptoms are very similar.
Talk about what those are, some of those similar.
Well, isolating themselves, confusion. And I've had a lot of patients say, you know, I think I've got Alzheimer's, and that is probably one of the most terrifying diseases for an older person. You would think the big thing on their mind would be death. Nah. They don't want to lose control. They don't want to be someplace where they don't, where they're being taken care of. That scares them to death.
Right.
And so they start thinking those things.
Difficulty remembering, like they're in this fog, and it's not always dementia. And a lot of it is the depression.
And if you're not sleeping right, you're not eating right, your body is just not functioning right, and then your brain just doesn't always want to work.
Exactly.
I mean, think about how we are if we didn't get a good night's sleep and you come to work the next day and you just can't, you don't quite function the right way.
Exactly. I think we think of older people, oh, that's just old age. It's not. That confusion is not normal.
Well, and when you had said earlier, irritability, you think, oh, my grandma was always so crabby. Perhaps that was a sign of depression.
Yes.
It's not
Very
just,
possibly.
Just because you get old doesn't mean you're irritable all the time.
It doesn't. And we give way too much credence to, oh, that's just, they're just being older, they're having a senior moment.
Yes.
And I think we need to check that out.
We discuss that with the families too. Get the son and daughter involved. Often family therapy is required because sometimes the son and daughter may be part of the problem.
Okay.
And they're telling mom and dad what to do. It's time to get rid of dad's things now. He's been gone for 3 or 4 years. It's time to look for a smaller place. And they feel like they can't make decisions anymore. My children are doing this for me. And that's depressing in itself. So we get on the same page with all of them and talk to them. We empower them to speak up for themselves and talk to their son or daughter like how they're feeling. Because a lot of times they sit passively back. They don't know what to do.
It is a big joke in group that the children think that they're now the parents. And it really, and they love their children. They recognize that their children love them. But by the same token, it irritates the out of me. Kind of like when your mom and dad were telling you what to do. And so it's just exactly the same dynamic. It's just reversed. And they can have a sense of humor about it. We laugh really hard in group to the point we have the nurses in the next building or over say, we thought you guys were depressed, and all we hear over there is laughter. And you can look at it one of two ways. It is funny. Some of the things that happen to us are funny. Like, oh my gosh, did you ever believe you were going to go someplace and they were going to ask you about your bowels? That's stupid. It's funny. And so it is. Life can be funny. I just think we've got the greatest group of people in the world, where they are patients.
How do you get people past? Sometimes there's a stigma with depression, or oh, I'm mentally ill. That's just shameful, and I don't want to talk about it. And I don't want anybody to know. How do you get people past that you know, it's okay.
Well, we have a rule. What you say in here stays in here. And we're very, very firm on that. And they know that. They trust us. And
being off campus.
Being off campus is a wonderful thing. We happen to be in a mall with some other fun places. And so, I mean, you could be going to the pizza place. You don't have to be going to senior care.
Right.
And quite frankly, I don't think it was much of a stigma, because now when we go out places and we're talking about our program, we'll have somebody in the audience that used to be, and they'll stand right up and say, yeah, I was there, and guess what? It's really fun, or it's really great, and I learned so much.
Right. I know you have Dine with the Docs here too, and there's been several occasions where I've been speaking about our program, and I'll have one of our past patients there, which I can't recognize, you know, but they can, well, could I say something? And they come right up and talk with me. I mean,
so they're not shy about it.
They're not shy at all, and they
I think they're
talk
much more
about
practical than the younger people, maybe. I think they're pretty honest. They know what's important, and it's don't sweat the small stuff anymore. And they're really out there. They're an untapped source of delight. I think we need to rethink the way we look at older people in our culture.
And I think part of it too, what I notice is that not only reminiscing, but I give them the respect and dignity. I listen, and they're not getting that anymore. And it's just those key things.
They'll
really
just come
important.
up, you know, we all eat lunch together, I might say. We all sit together and eat lunch together, which is a big socialization time for them and for us, because we can see them in a different, you know, area of their life. But they talk to us and want to know what our families are doing and how they're doing. What with the lunches, what else do you think that comes out of that?
I have found lunches to be therapeutic. I don't care if you're 2 or if you're 82. It's just a time when you sit down and relax, and breaking bread together has always meant something. And it does. It's very relaxing. The first time I noticed this when I was working with 2-year-olds. And literally, when they eat with you, they tell you their problems. Sometimes you're more relaxed in that state, and you can say things that you wouldn't say in group. You haven't said in group, like, you know, this is happening to me, and this scares me, and it comes out during lunch. Great.
They do focus on how polite. That's come up before. You, like Lisa said, you know, we feel respected here. You look at us, please and thank you, and is there anything I can do? A lot of touch. I mean, these folks, the elderly, don't get touched when you think about it. And we have to find those things out when they're first there. We did have a very angry man that started with us one time, and right off the bat, a nurse will always say, is it okay if I touch you? And it's right away, no. And it only took a week probably before you could pat him on the back or something. Before he left, there were hugs. I mean, he was just hugs and tears, right?
We have an alumni group that meets every month, and we do, well, like we had, it was Pancake Day, National Pancake Day. So we had pancakes, and he'll tell everybody, he says, this is the best thing that ever happened to us, and he'll say, I really care about you guys when he leaves. And that's nice, because he was a turkey coming in, and he'll, you know, and I thought, whoa, this is going to be fun. And he's delightful, just delightful.
Well, let's talk about how we, as, you know, a population who maybe have aging parents, how we as, you know, kids or, you know, children can help our parents. You know, like you said, you know, sometimes we do things as children to our parents, like, you know, sort of take over, and that doesn't always work so well. What can we do as children of aging parents to help them better?
I think we need to show them respect. I think we need to give them, you know, ask them, what do you want to do? Instead of saying, I think it's time to do this, ask them what they want to do, because they really do know. And they know when it's time to leave their own home. They know. Now, sometimes you have to give them a little bit, ease them into it, but listen to them. Give them the same respect you've always given them, or maybe more than you've always given them, right? And realize they're people, and realize that they're fun, and maybe get to know them as adults.
Spend more time. I think spend more time with them. Encourage them to keep walking, you know, whether it's a walk around the house
Huge.
or a walk around the yard, whatever they're capable of, keep them moving. Encourage them to go to the grocery. If you're doing the grocery shopping, go with me and let's see what, you know, instead of giving you a list, let them participate in that too. I'm trying to think. I
Have children around them as much as possible.
yes, small
Yes.
children.
Yeah, give them responsibilities. You know, think about it. When they're children, we start giving them some responsibilities. The older people need them too, and they need to know they're still needed. One thing in this economy that's going to be good is we're going to have a lot of families moving back in together. And you know, Grandma and Grandpa can do a lot of things. A lot of things. My husband, who is retired, is now watching our 2-year-old grandson. It's the best thing that happened to either one of them. I mean, it's cute to watch. So it's a great thing. I mean, this is a man who was very important, and all of a sudden he's a babysitter, and man, is he a good one. So.
What about for individuals out there, you know, who may be listening to what we're talking about and they're thinking, you know, that might be me. How do you know if, you know, maybe you're feeling, what you're feeling is beyond just normal aging, and when can you as an individual say, you know what, I think I need some additional help?
Well, we've had several self-referrals where you don't need a doctor referral or anything. You can either just stop by and see us, come in, and one of us is always available, or you can call us and just make that appointment. Like I said, a lot of people do know, or they've talked to somebody, or in the churches, their churches said, oh, you know what, you know, there's this new program and sounds like you might be good for that. So they can do that themselves. Just give us a call. We can either go to your house and talk to them there, or they can come in to see us.
And we can sometimes that it really isn't anything, and we can reassure them. You know, this isn't where where you are yet. And sometimes we had one lady that came into one of our open houses, and she says,
That's true.
And a year later, she came back and she says, you know, I've decided I need this, and she was great.
And we give them a trial. We say, this is something, it's your choice.
Yeah.
If you want to try it for 2 weeks and this just isn't for you, that's fine. So
What's the average age of the people that you're seeing?
Our oldest one right now just had a birthday. She's 95.
And
I challenge you to pick out which one it is.
you would not know.
And our youngest one is 70, 69, 70.
yeah, probably. Yeah, the median age is probably 70s.
No, we have had,
80s, yeah.
because it is a Medicare program, we can also take Medicare eligible, well, if they're disabled, that's
Okay.
what I'm reaching for,
Okay.
if they're Medicare and they're on disability. So that drops our age down, and we've had several people in their 50s, a grandma, you know, trying to raise grandchildren and just not knowing what to do, someone that's medically non-compliant, and they fall in that 50-year range and they get in. So we have a broad range, but it doesn't matter how old you are, they just put their arms around you, and it's like a family.
Yeah, when you've got a younger one, they all baby that person, and that's really nice. I mean,
And
because
they need
sometimes
that.
you need to be baby just a little bit, especially if you're a grandmother raising grandchildren. Yeah, and a lot of times these people feel hopeless or helpless. Helpless is a big word that they feel like using. It's just they just feel like they can't quite do it anymore, and it's really frustrating them.
And they don't want to be a burden to the family. And sometimes our referrals are from the family members, and they'll come in and we'll just kind of, okay, let's have a little chat or discussion tour, and so.
See what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we always listen to them, and when we have them, when they talk to the doctor, we say, tell them how the medicine's making you feel. You're the only one that can do that, because a lot of them don't like to take medications. They do not have to be on medications to be on in our program.
Okay, that was a question I had.
Yeah, they do not have to be. And if they are on them, we'll say, you try this. It takes a while to get into your system, and you tell us how you feel. You don't want to take it, we'll help you get off of it right away. They don't want to be addicted to anything. Okay, and so we listen to them, and that's really nice, you know, refreshing to them, because sometimes the doctor says, or a person says, just here's a pill, take it.
Yeah.
And we don't do that.
So there are people that are on medication and some that just come for talk therapy and will do just as well.
Yes.
Do you want to share, we've just got a few minutes left, just a nice little happy success story of one of your patients?
We have to be really careful.
We have to be careful because a lot of people could know who we're trying to talk about. Like I said, we've had one gentleman that was just felt he was a terrible man. He didn't feel he was ever a good father. He'd been a businessman all his life and made remarkable decisions, very intelligent. Wife was now going downhill with Alzheimer's, and he had kids, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. So they weren't there, but he would not move.
The son on the East Coast found us.
On the computer.
On the computer, and got him into the program. He's on one.
And now he comes, I mean, he's just wonderful now. He comes to visit us. He comes to all of our alumni things. If we happen to be in the vicinity, we call him, and he's one that we thought was going to be really hard. And he's just a super, super man.
Yeah, he's delightful. And the one thing that he did, because he figured himself out, because we can't, they can, is that he talked to both of his children. They have a much better relationship now, and he says, this program changed me. This made my whole life better. And that's wonderful. That makes you feel really good.
He's softer and now fosters
He's
puppies
fostering puppies and kittens.
Yeah.
And he, I mean, and
never would he have done that before.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, he's just, and he goes out and helps everybody, and that's great. I think almost all of our patients go out they're like missionaries. They go out and they find more people, and that's great.
Well, wonderful. We are out of time. I want to thank you ladies for coming on and sharing your story with us and the great things that you guys are doing, and hopefully the information you've provided will help some other people out there.
Well,
Thank you.
And we hope it'll help other people to look at older people just a little bit differently.
That's true. Thank you.
Thanks.